Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Happy Tuesday to you and your family. We're going to take a look at BNB, just kind of quick perspective on what's going on. It's been recovering quite nicely in a sense. We also kind of want to redraw out some Fibonacci retracement levels, kind of see what's going on now that the tentative bottom is in. And I say tentative just because you have to recreate your Fibonacci retracement levels every so often, and it's based on most recent highs and lows. So we do need to update that. I'll show you what I mean by that. Furthermore, too, we're also going to just take perspective on a few other supports and resistance levels and traditional indicators. Okay, so if you're new to the channel, just know, not a financial advisor. You want to become a better trader. I've got about 17, almost 18 years of trading experience. I share with you everything that I know in my Trading Academy videos, but also in my community and signals. So take a look at my community. Got some awesome traders here. Some really good profits being taken here recently. In the last 24 to 48 hours now, there's some activity. This weekend was pretty dead, but generally speaking, a lot of my better traders are using 35x leverage, most of them between 20 and 35. And then of course, there's the occasional 905% at 125x. So bear in mind, these are low position sizes and absolutely safer trades because they're not risking their entire portfolio, okay? So again, good stuff there. And then obviously with our signals here recently, minus our Cornix partnership here, I sent out an article there this morning. We're looking at 33% profit in 21 hours. And then obviously also a healthy 60% in 12 hours, basically 11 hours, right in that range for Ethereum. So Bitcoin and Ethereum are my favorite coins to trade, and that's essentially what you're looking at there. So good stuff, really cool things here. And obviously make sure you check out your fundamentals too for most recent relevant updates every single week. So thank you to my Crypto Cash admin for doing that. Thank you very much. So taking a look here at BNB. What's going on here today? Well, let's go ahead and create some better Fibonacci retracement levels. And just before we do, let's acknowledge the fact of how awesome Fibonacci can be. Because if you take a look here, this was drawn from here to here, okay, right? So again, basically just giving us that ascending type of trend because BNB was doing well for some time. Then of course we have this negative speculative news that kind of bleeding the price action down. That being said, we have a descending trend that's still holding in place, so we're not bullish by any stretch on BNB. But we can see here with Fibonacci retracement, this is essentially the lowest point here. And if you look a little bit lower, look at that. The candlestick closures closed right above 1.272. It's a very common characteristic when you have a resistance or like an all-time high broken. It'll naturally reject off that level. And then of course, we'd also wicked down to the next level, 1.414. So 220 and 230 are key supports. We got a nice support range here. Okay, that's essentially what that's telling us. So that's really cool to be able to see that for the Fibonacci retracement levels. What we also want to do here is kind of take a look at the most recent. So again, most recent low, or in this case high, most recent high to most recent low. I'm just going to go ahead and pull it out here to that trend line there. So this kind of tells us a lot about what's going on here now, and that 243 is likely a strong support range, which we can see right now. The price is fairly range bound in that range, right? So in that price point from 243 to 257, we have a little bit of a support channel. Okay, you could view that as a resistance channel for the moment. Honestly, you could, but again, the fact of the matter is, it came all the way down here, came up here, and now it's consolidating roughly at that support level. So more likely a support than a resistance. Okay. We can expect, though, 257 to give us some trouble, just based on the fact that 0.382 is a commonly retraceable area when it comes to Fibonacci. 0.618 is ultimately the most repeating. That's the common one, so that would be the more resistance at that level. So 280 will definitely be some trouble for us. But between here and there, we should have some free range to continue. All right, so let's look at some things here that kind of help give us some indication of what's going on. First of all, we got to bounce off RSI at 30. Okay, so if you're new to the channel, just in general, 30 on the RSI is like tentatively a support level, and 50 and 70 are also reoccurring support and resistances. At this point, the price action moving up, we don't have to worry about too much. We will see probably some resistance at 0.5, which is about 269, if the price continues higher, because that would put us really close to that level. So if we hit 270, I would expect some kind of pullback, and the same thing obviously, of course, with 280 as well. That's going to be a resistance range, in my opinion. So I think we're right at support, and we're going to work our way, like in a channel, between 243 and 280. That's my guess here for the next few weeks, depending on how things work out. When it comes to the MACD, though, this is positive in a sense, because we can see that we're starting to lose that momentum to the downside. Okay, and that just implies that we could see the 12 intersect with the 26 exponential moving average in an upward fashion. That's always a positive sign. That's essentially, golden cross, as you might see on when the 50 intersects with the 200. You might have heard about that. MACD is good about telling us where we're at. So in general, bouncing off 30 on the RSI, having a descending type of escalation to the downside for the MACD is also important. And we take a look at TD sequential. We came down to an 8. Now we're at a reset, so we either consolidate or increase from here. Okay, so good. Technically, we're in pretty good shape here. Okay, it should get better from here. That's essentially the goal. Now, again, some kind of awesome news comes out for BNB. It'll escalate quickly. It'll go very fast. It has a tendency of doing that. Look at this. I mean, you can see strong moves for the most part for BNB. It either goes strong up or down. There's really no other way around it. It's pretty consistent. So we can expect the price to go up just based on the sentiment that we're having more positive scenarios here, and it's absolutely looking pretty good. Okay, so again, tentatively positive here in that sense. Let's take a look at the moving averages though. I think we're still below all three, which we are, so that's not really a great thing, but we have to bridge that gap when we get there. Okay, so the 50 is going to slowly work its way down, probably concurrent with that descending trend, which we will see likelihood. So bottom line, as the price goes sideways, we will have some kind of rejection in the immediate future off the 50 as an initial first attempt. It's very common for that to happen. So just know that moving forward. But again, it's not necessarily a bad thing to be under those moving averages. It just means we got to respect it when it comes and when it happens. 4 hour, we can see something similar here to Bitcoin. I just review Bitcoin, do that every single day. You can see here, of course, that we have 50 on the RSI working as a tentative support where the price broke above that. So it does imply with these higher lows here and essentially a level, basically a parallel highs, that we have more likelihood to break to the upside than we do to the downside. Okay? So positive stuff there in that sense. The likelihood of an ascending type of trend breakout is higher because that's effectively, in a lot of cases, a cup and handle, which is not necessarily the most beautiful one here, but it is still nonetheless. Essentially, the concept is that you're creating higher lows and those higher highs are parallel and you inevitably break through it because you're consistently retesting that resistance. That's what's happening. Taking a look at the MACD. It's really similar in this here to the daily where it's starting to taper off a little bit. I'm not concerned with that by any stretch. The key is that we're converging still, making higher lows, and everything else appears to be fairly positive. So the 4 hour to me seems very nice as a transitionary time frame, telling us that the 1 hour is turning in, the positivity on the 1 hour is translating to a good 4 hour time frame, and furthermore as well to the 1 day. Okay. Again, time works up. It is progressive, so to speak, when it comes to trading. And what we want to look at is on the hourly here, we want to see a few things here. First of all, we had a significant retracement down here, got maxed out at a 9 on TD sequential. And basically, just so you know, if you're not familiar with it, TD sequential just takes a series of numbers, counts from 1 to a 9, and once you hit a 9, the likelihood of a pullback or a reshift in direction, basically the price going the other way, is higher because you're overextended to that one direction. Okay, so it's kind of simple and straightforward in that sense, but the bottom line is that we are looking here at a 9, price comes back up to a 7, we got some consolidation here, and then we're hitting another 7. So cool thing here is we keep retesting this level. Look at this. Look how many candle wicks up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Almost 7 attempts to break this level. How much longer do you think that level is going to hold? Probably not much longer. The likelihood of breaking up is sensible. We also want to kind of compare this quickly with Bitcoin and see. If you take a look at Bitcoin's chart, BNB looks tremendously better in the immediate future, or at least the immediate past, rather. The most recent 24 to 48 hours looks much better for BNB. As you can see, it comes up here and is trying again, whereas Bitcoin is essentially stuck on stupid throughout the weekend, comes down, maxes out, and then returns fire. Okay, so again, just some things to kind of think about, but generally speaking, looking fantastic for the most part for BNB. Last thing we want to confirm here is being above the cloud, which we are tentatively, but got to keep in mind, we have been fairly range bound for the last 12 to 24 hours, or more so 48 hours. So in that sense, it's hard to really get a specific read here, but the key is we have the momentum. That's the conversion line above the baseline, telling us we have momentum to the upside. And then of course, lagging span is free and clear price action. So the more likelihood we have here of continuing higher is becoming greater. So we take everything together, we can expect, unless there's some kind of unfortunate news for Binance, we should anticipate the price recovering and coming up here slowly but steadily. Okay. Again, we might experience a short squeeze of some sort when the price gets hit here and continues higher, because a lot of shorts are leveraging their shorts right there with a stop loss just above that level, because again, it's a support level for them. If you think about the inverse, basically a resistance that's holding the price action in place. Once you break that resistance, a lot of shorts will get squeezed out and the price shoots up quickly because of the whole buy and sell scenario. So again, mostly good stuff here. I don't really see any downside for BNB. I wouldn't say it's like 100%, but it's certainly fairly high statistical probability the price action is going to go higher and that the bottom should be in. Okay, again, should be, could be, etc. However you look at it, it's definitely one of those things where we should probably wait a little bit longer for confirmation, but I feel like the confirmation is kind of here already, right? So again, I would say a long position makes a little more sense from BNB for the moment, but on the same accord, you got to respect the fact that there's a lot of fundamental stuff out there, and unfortunately, the world of cryptocurrency is, he said, she said stuff, and something goes viral, people are going to believe it, regardless of its source. Okay, so just please be careful about what you watch and listen to, and just use the head on your shoulders, right? If you're good at trading, none of that other fundamental stuff will matter. Obviously, it matters a lot. Don't get me wrong, but you have to combine the two and ultimately to be successful. But on the same accord, we can see what's going on here. The bottom is appearing to be baked in here, and we have a tremendous amount of volume at specific price points, especially if we look at the lower price points here. It's starting to increase. We're building a good base and foundation. Yes, we got a lot of resistance at the 290 and 280 range, but between now and then, I think the likelihood of retesting 280 is fairly high. That's my guess. All right, so that's really where we're at there. Hopefully this made sense to you, and obviously I described things correctly. If so, comment below, all that good stuff. Feel free to become a community member if you want to become a better trader, and obviously, make sure you use Bitget as an exchange with a $10,000 prize pool monthly. Every single month we have that offer. Furthermore, too, you get 3 months free with ExpressVPN. Important you check that out as well, because you will need a VPN to use any type of leveraged exchange that isn't available in the US. Keep that in mind. Again, because a lot of my subscribers are US members. So, all right, that being said, that's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.